Welcome to the GCN Racing News Show. This week we're covering the national championships in Europe and America. We've also got the Adriatica Ionica Race, which for some was the final tune-up for the Tour de France, and for something different, the 1,000 kilometre non-stop unsupported Navad 1000, and an update from the TransAm and Tour Divide. Let's start though with the various national champs that took place last week, and there were some usual suspects taking the honours in the time trials. Maciej Bodnar took his 5th elite time trial title in Poland, whilst Edvald Boasson Hagen took his 10th. That's right, his 10th elite national time trial title over in Norway. He does need to watch out though, as he only managed to put 7 seconds into Andreas Leknessund, who turned 19 just 1 month ago. Going one better than Edvald though was Svein Tuft, who took his 11th national TT jersey over in Canada at the age of 41. Although he probably won't be adding to that haul, as this looks to be his last season. It is a remarkable record though from a remarkable man, and Mr Tuft is our rider of the week this time round. Well done, Svein. 2 years Tuft senior, Amber Neben showed the youngsters how it's done yet again by taking her 2nd consecutive national TT title over in the US. Joey Rosskopf also backed his performance up from 12 months ago in the men's, 28 seconds in front of Chad Hager, who gave this oversimplified stage summary. Guy stares past his hands at white lines for 3 rainy laps to set a new best time, then has to wait 2 hours for last year's fastest guy to knock him down a step. I do love those from Chad Hager. Jonathan Castroviejo won his 4th TT title over in Spain, which won't do his chances of Tour de France selection any harm at all. He was 37 seconds in front of the Izagirre brothers, who were separated by just a single second. Victor Campenaerts won the Belgian champs, though only 3 seconds in front of his teammate Thomas de Gent, whilst we had another example there of domination in the women's event, Anne-Sophie Dijk taking her 5th national title. On to the road races, and whilst Corin Rivera has never previously won the US National Championships on the road, her victory there this year on Saturday marked her 72nd career National Championship title, which really is a quite incredible record. Rivera there outsprinted Megan Gagne to continue her incredible run of form. In the men's race, Johnny Brown surprised the more senior and experienced riders and become the youngest US elite national champion ever at just 21 years of age. Yet another Hagen's Berman Action Team rider to watch out for in the future. Or indeed, right now, to be honest, he is national champion after all. Quick-step floors dominated the men's race over in Belgium. Yves Lampaert and twice former champion Philippe Gilbert found themselves in a group of 3 with Jasper Stuyven, at which point it was just a question of which of the 2 would win. The answer? Lampaert, who attacked on the closing stages. The women's, though, was dominated by the other heavyweight Belgian squad, that being Lotto Soudal, Annelies Dom beating teammate Valeria Demey. Down in Spain, we had one of the oldest top 10s that you can imagine. Oscar Sevilla, 41 years old, was 10th. Francisco Mancebo, 42, was in 7th. Also up there were Dani Moreno, 36 years of age, and the ever-consistent Alejandro Valverde, 38, who finished runner-up behind the relative youth of Gorka Izagirre, who took his 1st Spanish title at the scant age of 30. Another rider who'll be wearing his national colours at the Tour de France is Michał Kwiatkowski. He lost his TT title to Bodnar, but did get revenge in the road race. And then there's Peter Sagan. Now this might be a little unfair, but it does feel like he's just decided to loan the jersey to his brother for the past couple of seasons. However, with the World Championships this year probably being a bit too hard for him to collect a 4th rainbow jersey, maybe the prospect of having to race in standard trade team kit was enough to frighten Sagan into winning his national Slovakian championships. This marked his 5th elite title. The Sagans have dominated the race since 2011, winning every edition since then. And talking about trade team kit, I love this from Twitter's Perfilatore, showing how many days per season Sagan has spent in his normal team kit. Just 16.74% of race days since 2011. And last year, only 5% of his race days were in his normal kit. Presumably those were in team time trials. In fact, the last time he wore standard kit outside of time trials was the 2011 Tour de Suisse. Absolutely remarkable. Maciej Mohoric won the Slovenian Championships. He crossed the line with teammate Domen Novak, who allowed Mohoric to take the win. They were 7 minutes ahead of Luka Pibernik, giving a Bahrain Merida podium over there. And in Italy, we will have to wait another week for the men's race, but the women's is already done. 20-year-old Marta Cavalli taking her 1st pro win there. Also 20, and also taking her 1st pro win, was Catherine Main, who won the Canadian title. And there was another 1st pro win in the men's race, with FDJ Groupama pro Antoine Duchesne set to wear the red and white maple leaf jersey for the next 12 months. Next up, we've got the Adriatica Ionica, a brand new race in Italy, which is good news as many organisers of smaller races have really been struggling with budgets as of late. It's a 5-day stage race in northeastern Italy that incorporates 3 sprint stages, 1 mountaintop finish up the brutal Passo Giao in Alta Badia, and a team time trial, which is in fact where things kicked off last Wednesday. Winners there? Quick-Step. And they backed that up with a sprint win for Viviani from a reduced group of 50 on stage 2. That marked the 11th victory for Viviani and the 40th for Quick-Step this season, making them statistically the most successful rider and team so far in 2018. And that was before Viviani took their 41st and 42nd victories on stages 4 and 5. In the latter, it was Mark Cavendish that Viviani beat, and that marked the best result for Cav since he crashed out of Milan-San Remo back in March. Could he be coming good in time for the Tour? Time will certainly tell, but it looks like it. Speaking of which, in last week's poll, 68% of you said that Fernando Gaviria will win a stage of this year's Tour. Not long now until we will find out about that. That race starts a week on Saturday. And don't forget, we've got you covered here with highlights of each and every stage over on GCN's Facebook page. This week's poll is another simple one. How many stages will Mark Cavendish win at the Tour de France 2018? None? 1, 2, 3 or more than 4? Let us know your thoughts in the poll on screen and also in the comment section down below. Stage 3 was a defining point in the GC in that race though, finishing as mentioned up the Passo Giao, 9Ks at 9%, it's a true test for any climber, and rising to the top that day was Gianni Savio's latest prodigy Ivan Ramiro Sosa, a performance which was enough not only for the stage win, but also for the overall honours 2 days later. He averaged 350 watts for his 2.3k attack. Now, many of you will know that Team Sky's Egan Bernal rode also for Androni Giocattoli last year, and it seems as though they found another super talent in Sosa, who already impressed amongst illustrious company at the Tour of the Alps in April. No doubt he'll be courting the attention of a number of World Tour teams as I speak, and I'm sure Savio will currently be calculating the transfer fee. On over to the ultra-endurance world now, and before I give you an update on the TransAm and the Tour Divide, I want to start by giving a quick nod to the Navad 1000. This was the first ever bikepacking event in Switzerland. It's 1,000 kilometres long with 31,000 metres of climbing, starting in Lake Constance and finishing in Lake Geneva. No entry fee, no outside support, no prize money, no excuses, non-stop is how organisers described the event, which began in 2015. Stepan Stransky won the event, but not far behind him was the first woman and ultra-endurance legend, Lael Wilcox. She finished in 4 days, 10 hours and 6 minutes. Now, Wilcox is the only woman ever to have won the TransAm bike race, but this was the bike that she chose for the Navad 1000, a specialised epic hardtail with plenty of modifications, and I was particularly pleased to see that she's chosen good old-fashioned bar ends. I do like using them myself over much shorter distances. On to the Tour Divide now, and the front runners or riders there have finished. Lewis Sidor continued where we left him last week to finish first. The Australian averaged 180 miles a day over 15 days, 2 hours and 8 minutes, where he reached New Mexico and the finish line. What an amazing accomplishment there. Alexandra Huchin continues to lead the women's event. She, as we record this, has around 700 miles remaining before she gets to New Mexico. The TransAm also finished last week, or at least it did for the front runners. It was a quick one this year. 2 riders managed to get inside last year's record time, and the winner was Marcel Graeber, but not on a conventional bike. He decided to use the 3-wheeled Velomobile, not dissimilar to the one I had a little go on over in Denmark at Ceramic Speed fairly recently, and covered the 7,000 kilometres in 6 days, 16 hours and 40 minutes. Now, to put that into some perspective, that is over a day ahead of the record set last year by Evan Deutsch. Coming in second on a more standard bike was Peter Anderson, who also broke last year's record. It has caused a little bit of controversy over on internet forums, with plenty of discussion as to whether a Velomobile is a fair game bike, but by the rules it is, and since the TransAm first official rule is that there are no complaining about the rules, there isn't really a discussion to be had. Tanya Hacker won the women's event on a standard bike, that despite taking a couple of wrong turns in Montana. Well done to all competitors still taking part and to those who finished. That is all for this week's show then. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Next week I will be back with a report on the remainder of the National Road Race Championships, including Italy, the UK, the Netherlands and France, and I very much hope you will join me then. In the meantime, if you'd like to watch a fantastic edition of Ask GCN Anything with one of the very best racers of all time, Marianne Vos, then make sure you watch this next video just down here with Emma.